Well, let's get right into it. We got Cohn, we got Dave from Sum 41 here. Guys, lots of news came out about Sum 41 this year. The biggest, obviously, being that this is kind of it for you guys. You announced you got one more album, one more world tour, and then you're going to ride off into the sunset. So at this point in your careers, how did that decision come to be? Why now?
It's time. It's been, about almost 30 years. And after that, after the amount of work that this band does and the workload that it takes on, I think it's just burnt out a few members. And if we don't all want to be doing this, then why do it? I mean, trying to get the chemistry with somebody else at this point, it just doesn't make sense for us. So it's time, and it feels right. And as far as everybody needing to be a cohesive unit, but I mean, it's also like, Conor, how do you feel? I mean, I'd love to keep playing music, but it's yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that we're ending, and it's not like we're Fleetwood Mac. We didn't have a big fight. No one's fist fighting or having sex with someone's wife or whatever.
That's good.
Yeah, so I'm happy like that we're able to end it on a high note for us, because we met when we were 14 years old. We're a high school band, and we were friends first. So to be able to end the band still really good friends is good for all of us, I think. And I really like that part of ending the band that way, rather than, who knows, you could drag out our band for another 20 years, but then it could end bad. You never know.
Always leave them wanting more. I think that's a lesson I learned. Yeah, you mentioned it. I was kind of looking it up today. I'm like, how old were these guys when they started the band? And you were like in your mid-teens when you kind of kicked this thing off, and then you got the record deal and made the albums, and it all came together. And so, 30 years, I think is what you said, 30 years later almost, it must be mixed feelings that this is there's not much road left in front of you.
I think that's the best way to leave it, though, because if we see a little bit of sadness or feel some sadness over it, that means that it was really, really good. And I mean, to kind of get to a point where it's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I think that's just, it's beating a dead horse, and it doesn't do anything for the band or add any value to a ticket.
Yeah, we've never been a band just to do things for like a paycheck. We were a band that went to the van. We didn't make money. We lived at our parents' house for a long time. Like we played in front of five people. So to go do this just to get paid is not really it's not really who we are. And so yeah, I think all of us will still probably play music in one way or another, just not together anymore.
And I think you don't often get the luxury, the fans of Sum 41, when the news came out, they were obviously kind of crushed to hear that this is kind of the end of it. But the fact that you guys kind of, as you said, are leaving on good terms, and the fact that there will be another record and there will be another tour, they will get a chance to say goodbye, which you don't often get with bands. That's a big part of this whole thing too.
Yeah, that's kind of why we did the announcement months ago, because we wanted to lay out their last album, and then we'll lay out all the touring details so people can, make their plans. If they want to see us for a last time, they can do that, whether, it's in Edmonton or wherever they want to go. Like we're doing the whole world. And the thing is, I think for all of us, I don't know, probably for you too, Dave, but it doesn't feel like it's ending soon, because it's still like, we're going to be going into 2025 with this tour. So I mean, we're not going to be like Elton John and coming around the same city 5 times after we've said goodbye, but it'll be a long world tour.
So we do know a little bit about this album. You guys are probably still even working on it. Heaven and Hell. What we've kind of heard so far is that it's kind of a double album type thing, where the Heaven side is more of your pop punk past, and the Hell side is more of kind of more of an aggressive sound that you have kind of been doing more recently. What else can you tell us about that record? How's it going? How's it coming along?
Well, it's done.
Oh, nice.
It's finished. Yeah. We're going over artwork. We're going over release dates. So yeah, it's done. The new single Landmines has been doing really, really well. And we're super proud of it. I mean, I think that this is the best kind of amalgamation of everything that Sum 41 is for us to go out on.
Yeah, we have like it's funny with our band because obviously we had the Fat Lips and In Too Deeps early on. So like people categorize us as pop punk, and then throughout the years we got heavier. And then there's like we have like these fans that'll be like, I only like In Too Deep, the pop punk stuff. Then we have fans who are like, I don't like the pop punk stuff. I want to hear your metal stuff. It's like so we give them this album is like, well, if you don't like the metal stuff, listen to this side. If you don't like the pop punk stuff, listen to this side. So it's like yeah, I think like Dave said, it's like a good way to go out and hopefully please all of our fans.
Absolutely. And you kind of mentioned landmines. I'm sure you're getting the same reaction we're getting over here at Sonic, and that is people are eating it up. It's actually our top testing song right now. People love landmines and they love that Sum 41. There is a special appetite for kind of a trip down memory lane, so to speak.
Oh, that's awesome to hear. I mean, thank you everybody for that. I mean, because that was one of the songs where I think both of us, it just got that chorus just got into our heads just as we were tracking guitars and bass on it, and it was a no-brainer as far as what to release first.
It's funny with that song too, and a lot of the pop punk stuff that we're releasing. Derek was writing during the pandemic, and he's obviously our main songwriter, but he was writing those songs for other people, and so that Landmines could have been someone else's song. And luckily, thankfully, he didn't give them away, and he decided like, no, I really like these songs, and so he sent them to us, and we're like, yes, we like these songs too. Let's do these.
We got reminded today of In Too Deep too. It seems like when Derek writes for other people, because In Too Deep was written for Snow.
What?
So, yeah, absolutely. So it seems like when he writes for other people, he comes up with his best stuff.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that In Too Deep was originally for someone else. It was for Snow?
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, Snow back.
Yeah, he was like, I guess they were kind of starting this little group way back in like 2000. And there's a version of Snow singing on it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that just seems weird. It seems wrong now. 20 years later, it just seems wrong.
Oh, no way. No way. Snow is a very, very underrated Jamaican DJ, man.
Like I'm trying to think of how that would sound as a Snow song, and I can't wrap my brain around it.
Sounds like
you guys, so obviously, breaking onto the scene the way you did in the early 2000s, especially when you really started to blow up and Much Music kind of took over and you got to experience that wave of things. You were a part of that kind of the pop punk genre, especially in Canada as it exploded. And it must be satisfying now for you guys to be seeing it coming back around again. Blink-182, Tom just rejoined the band. They just put out a big album. The When We Were Young festival, which you guys just played at a few weeks ago, is obviously huge in Vegas. The last couple of years, it's been really big. So it must be satisfying to see that coming back around and just getting the love that maybe it's just louder. Maybe the love just got quiet for a bit, and now we're just seeing it again.
Yeah, it seems like every genre kind of that gets widespread popularity ends up kind of dipping down a little bit to kind of, wash off a little bit of the success and then kind of comes back up. It looks like we're back in that wave of people that grew up on the music and are playing it for their youngsters. Their youngsters are old enough to come out to shows. And I mean, we're getting to play in front of bigger crowds because of it. So it's pretty awesome.
It's funny because pop punk never actually went away. All these bands like us and the Bowling for Soups, the Blinks, everybody, we all kept touring through the years. But yeah, for whatever reason, like Dave said, it just kind of had a lull. It's kind of like even Iron Maiden. If you think about Iron Maiden, they were massive. And then I remember, Dave, you went and saw them at Massey Hall in front of 2,000 people.
Yeah,
in the late 90s. And now again, they're a stadium band. So it's like, I think, like Dave said again, like all these genres kind of go through these little roller coaster moments. But I think at the end of the day too, with the pandemic happening and people only have so much money to spend on concerts, people want to go see concerts. I think that they know a lot of songs rather than just like one song or two songs of a new band. And that's not the bag on any new bands, but I think that's we're seeing that a lot where it's like you put together these bills with three bands that everyone knows and everyone knows their songs and they do really well.
It's not an easy thing. You talked about, you guys are on good terms and the crowds are there and they're loving it. It must be just a lot of fun to be able to go on stage in Las Vegas at that festival, stand there, see the size of the crowd and how much fun everyone is having. And it just must rejuvenate you guys when you get on stage and do those songs again?
100%. Yeah. Especially like the way that crowd was set up, it just was so widespread. It looked like it didn't end. And, being able to look out and see that many people, not only when we play, but when, bands that we came up with play, it was unbelievable, like incredibly touching. And I can't tell you how grateful we were for those moments.
I don't want to talk to you guys like you're dying, because you still got, you're still, young guys, really. But now that Sum 41 is kind of in its final stages, have you allowed yourself a chance to look back on what you guys were able to accomplish as a small band of just pimple-faced teens out of Ajax, Ontario, that blew up and not just had success in Canada, but internationally, which very few bands are able to do, to break out of Canada and play around the world? Like, you guys accomplished a lot, and I hope you guys can appreciate what you did.
I don't know if I ever really take the time. Do you, Cone? I kind of just keep on going.
It's funny. Like, I try not to look back right now. I'm sure maybe we'll do that when the band's actually ended, but I think we're forced to, because obviously we're doing it. People want to talk about it in interviews, and also we get a lot of messages on it on social media about it, and people throwing us like old photos, old videos of ourselves. But I don't think any of us have like sat there yet, because like I said, like we're going in like deep into 2025. So we're kind of busy. We're kind of focused on the new album rather than the ending.
Nice. And so what we've heard about the new album is spring-ish. Is that kind of what you're eyeballing?
Yeah, early next year, spring next year, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Nice. And then when that album does come, you have these tour dates that you're hinting about, and we're hoping and assuming, fingers crossing, that Edmonton is somewhere on that map.
Oh, I would think so. Edmonton was one of the biggest places for us early on. I remember playing the Shaw Conference Center so many times. We got in a lot of trouble at the Shaw Conference Center.
Yeah, we did.
Nice.
So yeah, I would think Edmonton will definitely be on there. If not, then Dave and I will come and do an acoustic set by ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. I really appreciate you guys taking the time today to talk to us, and we look forward to the new album, to the tour, and to seeing you guys back in Edmonton, and then whatever happens beyond Sum 41 and down the road.
We'd love to see you out at the show, and we're looking forward to coming back.
Are you Sonic? Sonic 1029.